Just after his latest diss aimed at NBA YoungBoy, NLE Choppa reportedly sent his affiliates to kill him, and it ended very badly. If you peep the game, you'll find it's actually way more disturbing than people saw on the surface. When NLE Choppa dropped that diss track, the internet went wild, especially after that music video where he held a young boy's severed head like a trophy. The whole thing came straight from the dream he said woke him up in the middle of the night. In interviews, he described the flesh hanging off the skull, the mosquitoes biting at it, the smell sticking so deep in his mind that he remembered it after waking up. And in that dream, he wasn't just holding the head, he was bringing it to his father, which made it even more twisted. But it wasn't just the visuals that shook people. Choppa dropped some disturbing things on YoungBoy that people didn't really pay attention to the first time around. On KO, he went straight into the poisoning the youth line, calling YoungBoy someone who corrupts the impressionable kids who follow him. Then he doubled down by saying it's not even YB as a person, it's something controlling him exoterically and esoterically. He insisted that sometimes it's not a man's own choices, but the forces he chooses to align with, and that he'd heard YB speak in interviews about being aware of what he puts into the world. That gave him the justification, in his words, to call it out. That's when older receipts suddenly resurfaced. Back in 2023, YoungBoy told Joe LaPuma that the music industry was a demonic industry, and he said it with his chest. He talked about how he accepted being part of it, but also understood the danger of it. According to him, the industry used him as entertainment, while the whole process turned into self-destruction. YoungBoy said certain things couldn't be spoken on publicly, and ended the topic with, "It's to be continued," which made people look back at Choppa's "something controlling him" line a whole different way. When you stack those moments together, the picture gets way more complicated, and even prosecutors had spoken about YoungBoy's mental state at one point. When his team filed to ease his Utah house arrest conditions, they said he was dealing with depression, anxiety, weight loss, and sleepless nights. They argued that being stuck inside for 2 years was wearing down his mind and stopping him from working. Prosecutors pushed back instantly, saying nothing about his condition stopped him from getting treatment, and that he had access to outside medical visits and virtual options if needed. Fans tied those comments back into the larger picture too, saying it matched the things YoungBoy has hinted about his internal battles. But beef is beef, and YoungBoy was never going to let it slide. He hit back with his zero IQ freestyle, filming the video inside his Utah mansion while looking intoxicated and carefree. He moved from room to room flashing cash and jewelry, waking up a friend with cold water, and making it clear he wasn't stressed about Choppa's diss. Without naming him directly, he rapped about clutching the Glock, how nobody can beat him, and how he doesn't respond to people who ain't never ran nothing down. But it wasn't just YoungBoy firing back. Charleston White stepped in and dragged Choppa harder than anybody else. Charleston mocked his runway walk, brought up the video where Choppa walked like a model, and said once you go that route, you can't come back to the gangster side barking. He said Choppa had disqualified himself from speaking on Kentrell at all. Meanwhile, this wasn't some brand new tension. Fans remembered that Choppa actually used to support YoungBoy back in 2019. He released Free YoungBoy while YB was locked up. But everything changed after King Von passed, and YoungBoy dropped Bring the Hook in 2022. Choppa publicly backed Lil Reese's criticism of the track. YoungBoy clapped back in a song, saying he'd send someone to God for choosing sides. That moment pushed Choppa to change Free YoungBoy to just YoungBoy, showing he wasn't standing with him anymore. Ever since, it's been chaos between them, and that same chaos has brought us where we are now.